high school, she accidentally touched my butt. Just imagine talking in that in real life. That would suck. Like, actually, just having monotone voice the whole entire time.
You want to?
Sure. Just how you laugh.
Number one. About a month ago, I found myself searching through YouTube for some recent demonstrations of the dashboard camera I was thinking of getting. Well, what I found was quite helpful. Many of the results were a bit repetitive and didn't introduce a ton of new information. Aside from individual opinions, what didn't. One recently uploaded video, however, did stand out a bit from the rest. That was simply called 2-cam. A description hadn't been filled out, and the uploader's account was a random assortment of numbers, but I decided I had nothing to do with giving it a look. The general seems of a young child sitting
There's a rainbow, fingers crossed,
behind
infinity, hard eyes.
Suddenly, for almost a minute, the child gave a shy greeting and explained several details about what would have been a dash cam. I can't really picture due to how unusually big the child is being, including descriptions like, it has a good screen, the body is strong, it'll last a long time. In fact, at no point in the video was a dash cam shown or even named. Before the recording came to an end, the child sat in silence once more for another minute or so. My first instinct was to believe this was some kind of test video on a newly created account, which made me curious about the account itself. Maybe it would end up being wildly popular somehow, and I'd be one of the first people to see it. Clicking on the profile itself revealed almost nothing had been filled out or added, except for 2 videos, along with the one I had just watched. There was a video added only minutes before it called 1-cam. The preview photo was nearly identical, the same child sitting in the same place, so I wondered if there were multiple attempts at the same thing. Just as before, I allowed curiosity to get the best of me. In the second video, I could quickly tell that this really wasn't a video, and instead of the clip, I saw it being way too louder during the first few seconds. All my robotic voice reading some facts about a parent with a child named Ronnie Wilson, age 9, mother location jail, all location deceased, cause of death beaten. I told myself but even if it was, my humor was completely uncalled for. There must have been a hint somewhere what the purpose of the video.
No, I can't find it.
Well, a bit
Period.
one trait about the
No, that's just
people were already subscribed. Many people, but what seems reasonable, pointing out how many only hours earlier with random numbers as the name. I didn't question the subscribers too much since they always pretty normal at a glance. So seeing them gave me an idea. The best way to find out what these videos were was to simply make more of them. So I subscribed myself and left it at that for the time.
you subscribe to yourself.
They passed before I logged back into YouTube to check on my account for earlier. Though to my surprise, it had been deleted. No more no more videos. That was it. Or so I thought.
You want to.
You don't.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Was met with a message on my YouTube account. It was as follows.
It was only 3 times. Hello, you've been subscribed to Eyes Below the Sun Study.
Due to the sender of the message being from another account, I knew this must have come from the person behind the other profile, or at least someone connected to that person. This was the first time I considered that some kind of study was being done, but I had to wonder who the subjects were, the people in the videos, or the viewers. Whatever the case, I told myself I'd wait for more videos, and here they were. So I checked them both out. Each one mimicked the general layout of the videos before.
I flipped that over. You're on it wrong.
Vaguely reviewing some kind of electronic. The other was once again.
I know, I hold it.
The robotic was reading information about the child. Richard Brown, age 12, mother location deceased, father location unknown, cause of death strangulation. Some hours later, the account was with two videos. One would be a child reviewing something, and the other would be a screenshot of the review video with information about the reviewer. Then at the end of the day, the account would be taken down. Well, this was unusual. I was still waiting for a clear reason to think something was horribly wrong. Besides the freeze frame videos reading I already suspected were made up. After almost a week, a message I reviewed renewed my feelings of concern. It was as follows. Hello, you have been subscribed to Eyes Below the Sun Study. Link 1,
Dude,
Link
that
2.
scared
Please
me.
remember, Jessica refused to participate in the study. I saw her eyes. Oh God. And describe some facts about the child as the previous videos did. The robotic voice had been replaced with a recording of a woman. The child's name is Jessica. She's 7 years old and both of her parents are at other locations. Due to her refusal to follow procedures, appropriate actions will be taken. Odd. I clicked the next link and saw the usual setup of a child.
Okay,
presumably
oh
Jessica,
crap.
sitting at a table. She began describing the penguin in a very which was no surprise. However, in
Let's
the
go
middle of
have
the
the second
discussion,
one.
she
So where?
suddenly stopped and began to weep.
Dumb.
A woman standing out of view calmly asked the girl to keep her eyes on the
Oh, crap.
camera, but she continued to cry for a while before asking,
This is Dead
"What did you do to
Tools.
my mom?" Well, the second person in the room
Couple
wasn't
of you
his
guys
own.
must have heard of
And
it.
as she began moving around since the video started shaking, suddenly the camera was pushed to the side, exposing a door to the bathroom. The woman then revealed herself by entering the now visible second room, taking a moment to shuffle through a cabinet before
Because this
returning with a pair of
is
scissors.
the whole
I
game.
wasn't able to get a good look at the person, but a large wound on her face was
I
impossible
don't know
to
how to
miss.
send
It
links,
started
but
at the corner
try
of
to
her
send a
mouth
link.
and cut halfway to her ear. The video then ended. This must have set off some kind of chain reaction, because the next 2 or 3 days had children who were all acting strange. They tried to describe whatever product they were assigned to while fighting back tears and glancing at something in the corner of the room out of view. Then I received another out-of-format message. Link 1. Do not be alarmed. There was only one link that day to something called Zero Eyes. But what could it be? I opened the video and was met with an empty room. Apparently the host hadn't been seated yet. Intense commotion could be heard outside, in the form of footsteps stomping down the hallway towards the door and muffled screaming, apparently from a kid. When the door opened, a man burst through holding a child in his arms.
Not
He
slow.
put his foot over the boy's mouth and his arms were tied behind his back. After kicking the door shut with his foot, the man practically threw the child onto the table with so much force that the camera fell over. The scene had changed from the usual table to the corner of the room where the previous children had been uncomfortably glancing at. Laying on the floor naked was the girl from the pendant video, motionless, with wounds covering her entire body. Dried blood streamed down from her eyelids that had been savagely cut or ripped off. While she had already been out for several days, her eyes were very slightly vibrating. The child was dying, but still alive. Suddenly, text on a black screen popped up with the words, "Do not be alarmed." For several moments before the video ended, this was the last straw. I wrote down the numbers of the account and the video name before rushing out of my house to the local police station. I can only imagine how frantic I was when I got there. Even trying to speak was challenging, and it didn't help that the officers impatiently demanded I calm down. Eventually, however, I managed to tell them what I had seen, and they requested I sit tight while they check out the videos themselves right there. Maybe 15 minutes passed before the officers returned to me. Unfortunately, I didn't get there fast enough. The account and video had already been deleted. I didn't lose hope, however, because I knew I'd get another video the next day, so I promised to return when the proof of this nightmare arrived. That night I didn't sleep well, since the mental image of this mutilated girl was stuck in my brain. I couldn't check my messages on YouTube fast enough when I awoke. And what I found was the following. Hello, you have been unsubscribed to Eyes Below the Sun Study, link 1. Please remember no one was harmed. Upon clicking the link, I gasped at the title of the video. It was a 0, immediately followed by my YouTube username. With a terrible sinking feeling in my stomach, I sat back and watched the scene play. What followed was the regular room with no one
I don't
visible
know,
once
that's why I
again.
asked you what you had
However,
said.
someone standing behind the camera slowly
Now
walked
who's
up to the
slow?
view and positioned herself exactly where the children had sat. I recognized this woman as the one from the one pendant video. the woman with the facial wound. She glared into the camera for a moment before saying, "I'm sorry."
About 34 minutes.
12 hours.
Number 15. The frenemy. A best friend turned enemy can often turn scary. They know you like the
That's
back
Step
of their
Brothers.
hands. In high school,
Did you say
Redditor
Step
Rick
Brothers, like,
Biter had a friend whose girlfriend broke up with him, and this friend took it very badly. So badly, he turned into a stalker. The Redditor explains, he started doing weird stuff like taking his dad's company car and driving to her house, and sitting outside her house at like 4 a.m. This was when they were still dating. When his obsessive behavior finally got him dumped, his obsession only grew. After getting fed up with his friend's extreme behavior, the Redditor befriended the ex-girlfriend. This is when things went haywire. The frenemy thereafter took his dad's car not only
You
to
have to
stalk
see
the
it.
ex-girlfriend, but also
doesn't
his
mean, like,
former
my
friend.
friend.
He'd drive over to his house at night and throw rocks at his window.
What?
Does that mean like
Like, unfriend?
befriend means
You say befriend?
Yeah.
Or defriend? If you get rid of a friend,
okay,
you
what's
defriend.
befriend?
Befriend? I don't know.
I don't know.
Look who that's me.
Okay, first A.
What do you say?
I said okay, first A.
I know what you said. What do you say?
Oh, please.
On one occasion, he broke into the house through the laundry room door in order to interrogate his ex-friend about his ex-girlfriend,
But I look you want
asking all sorts of questions about her. He said he wanted to make his ex love him again by doing what the Scarecrow in the Batman movie did. When school administration caught wind of that, they checked out his locker. What they found there was frightening. Fertilizer, bleach, and a burlap sack with cut-out eye holes. He got kicked out of school and was sent to a psychiatric ward. Who knows what he was planning to do with those ingredients? Number 14. Taken captive. When someone you thought you knew turns out to be someone you don't, the whole world turns upside down. Robo Ribbit shared a story of a dude that was friends with his best friend. All three of them used to attend anime and gaming conventions. Although the guy was a bit strange, he was good looking and popular amongst the con girls. But his compulsive lying raised red flags for Robo Ribbit. And as it would turn out, those red
I just want to say the girl with the black was better than the other
flags were waiting for a reason. The man was put behind bars for holding his girlfriend captive for more than 2 months, while doing horrible things to
He's got
her.
veins going through his
Those
chest.
things are too horrifying to even talk about here, but they included sticks, a crowbar, and a blade. It was so bad that she lost all hearing in 1 ear. Everyone in the con community was disturbed to hear the news, but it appears only one person suspected who this person was from the start. Number 13. The firefighter. Firefighters are always seen as heroes. This one was quite the
So he
opposite.
said, I'm out.
Ekadon was friends with a firefighter who was very serious about his job. He was first a forest firefighter and then a city firefighter. The bottom line is, he loved putting out fires, probably a little too much. At one point, a string of arsons lit through the area, the last of which ended the worst. The old man lost his life in the flames trapped in his room. When the man was finally caught, the culprit was a surprise to most. Who was it but the firefighter who loved his job? He was convicted for his actions, although he spent some time behind bars. 2 years later, Ekadon writes, I don't feel like the punishment fit for this one. I'm not sure it did either. Number 12.
read a file. He was the one that started that file. But I'm having listening and I know this.
C2A Token shared the story about being friends with Tyler Hadley. If you think the name Tyler Hadley sounds familiar, you're right. This particularly lurid case came to light in 2011 when he allegedly took the lives of his parents and threw a party afterwards while their bodies lay cold in the home. It was a particularly scary event, as Hadley allegedly used a hammer. Afterwards, he posted on Facebook that he'd be throwing a party that same evening, and unbeknownst to most of the partygoers, his parents remained in the master bedroom for the duration of that party. When Hadley told his best friend what he'd done, word spread throughout the party and he was taken into custody the next morning. Hadley was convicted in 2014 and was sentenced to life behind bars. He always seemed a little off. C2A Token wrote, "A little off is putting it mildly." Number 11, House on Fire. This one's a long one, so strap in. Redditor Cart 2K shares a story of obsession, jealousy, and fire. Cart was one amongst a circle of high school friends, one of whom was named Chris. Chris was obsessed with another boy in the group named Brian. They all lived in the same neighborhood, so they spent a lot of time together. Chris and Brian were childhood friends and besties, but when Cart started hanging with them, he also became close with Brian. Chris didn't like this change in dynamic. After a year, though, he finally accepted that he couldn't separate the pair. He still made Cart uncomfortable. Cart writes, "I knew that something about Chris was off from day one, and the more time I spent with Chris and Brian, the more apparent it became. On one occasion, Cart spotted Chris sniffing Brian's dirty boxers during a sleepover.
That's gross.
It was then that he realized Chris had feelings for Brian. After they'd graduated high school, Chris was single, while Brian and the Redditor were both dating. This is when Chris became even more obsessive and controlling." Cart writes, "The next day we found out that someone had broken into Brian's house that night through the sliding glass door in his basement and used gasoline and a lighter fluid to start a fire. Although the fire didn't harm anyone or cause major damage, Brian and his family were afraid. Everyone knew it was Chris. Police got involved, but Chris wasn't charged, nor was anyone else. And the friend group never saw or heard from Chris again. It was probably for the best, considering what Chris was capable of." Number 10, the Demi-Goddess. Have you ever had a friend who believed she was some sort of demi-goddess? Injected Americas has. She wrote, "The girl I used to be friends with believed she was the daughter of some demi-goddess and could talk to powerful spirits." The Redditor explains that there were times that she'd question her friend, but the friend would threaten to destroy her soul. She'd also tell the Redditor not to bring any dudes around that she liked, because she didn't want them to fall in love with her instead, as it would hurt their friendship. Even scarier, the Demi-Goddess threatened the Redditor and her family's lives, going into detail about how she'd take their lives. The psycho even carried a blade wherever she went, so she could very well have done so. The moral of the story: steer clear of anyone who claims to be a demi-goddess. Number 9, the girlfriend. When friends start to feel stronger about you than you do about them, things can get weird fast, especially when they become possessive of you. Redditor Tango Lettuce had a friend turned wannabe girlfriend in the 8th grade. When they were grouped together for a science project, she started regularly calling him, not wanting to talk about the project, but rather to force him to listen to Charlie the Unicorn. She ended up weaseling out of her group, but she would still trail through the snow to his house to work on her project. Then she started telling everyone they were dating. This is when things took a stranger turn. Tango Lettuce writes, "The phone calls got darker as she began to tell me she locks herself in her room at night to prevent slicing her wrists. She'd giggle and laugh about all this too, which made it worse. When school administration heard about the girl through the grapevine, she was eventually given counseling. Although she continued to call him all through the school year, when summer came, the calls stopped. Maybe a break was just what she needed to end the obsession. Number 8. The online friends. Modern friendships these days often blossom online. Redditor Osmond, thus so long, has a horror story that might make you stay offline though.
Okay, so I'm tired of hearing his voice. You too?
Kind of.
No, you're not. This is kind of. You're just tired of watching this fucking video. You wish it was just like a 2-minute video.
Not just 20 minutes. You're like,
Exactly. I'm here just babbling.
you know, you are on the show.
I don't know.
What?
I'm doing my second thoughts thing with these people.
Why'd you fart, Victoria?
What?
Yeah, you heard me. Why'd you fart? I heard you good. Yeah? Mm-hmm. You heard me? But you farted.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
No.
you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, yeah.
I heard you. You can't deny it.
Yeah, kind of.
I know what I heard.
Who doesn't love
You farted.
Almost
You
of us
farted.
don't really
You
believe
kind of.
out there who have real life.
Oh, no, please, no, please, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm just playing. I know this is the food telling.
As we turn down the lights and grab our phone readers, take a minute to subscribe to the
Hello.
Okay, go.
My foot is down.
Put this thing down, whatever it is.
I just put
Put
that
this thing down, whatever it is. What is this?
Yeah, what you gonna cook for us? Oh my god, my stomach pains are coming back. Shut the fuck up.
What is that? No, hit girl.
Not
I had to think for a second if I did.
Hey, did I really hit you first?
No, I didn't. Yes, it's my foot.
It is a picture of an airport with an uncut water source, electricity generator, and a supplies of food and medicine for 1 year. The recommended capacity of the bunker is 150 people. The bunker has underground floors, which are only accessible with the appropriate association and code via the main elevator. FBI authorized. Please use the terminals on the low voice for further instructions. The Ministry of Defense official for exceptional situations and emergencies, which is U.S. Pleasant Stay. Hi. I feel like
Pepto-Bismol. Tell her the pink shit.
and she is a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you kicked it.
And no, we're not talking about the adorable Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. In November 1974, a house in Bridgeport, Connecticut, was the center of intense paranormal activity.
Stop
Windows
watching
were
this.
breaking, objects were levitating, furniture was being moved, and Sam the cat was talking. The phenomena was witnessed not only by police, but by firemen and members of the public too. The haunting gained worldwide attention, and acclaimed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren became involved in the case. The house was owned by Gerard and Laura Gooden, and they felt like they were under attack in their own home. It was discovered that the Goodens had adopted a daughter named Martha in 1968, and the phenomena started happening soon after that. While Martha did admit to hoaxes,
You're already standing
no one
up.
could explain how she was able to make the furniture. This haunting is one of the most
It's all good. I gotta brush my teeth.
history. The motel. Seedy motel rooms are creepy all on their own, but if you add a paranormal element to it, then a motel can be a perfect setting. However, this he saw that cups and towels were being knocked off the counter for no reason. A phone was even knocked off its own hook. Frank was just watching CNN and minding his own business when the phenomenon started. He grabbed his phone and started recording the events around him. He posted his video on Facebook, where it quickly went viral. He ended up opening the door and asking the ghost to leave. When that didn't work, Frank
I'm gonna
apparently
cup
went
to
to the
it.
hotel staff and requested
There's a cup on top of
Don't
it.
move this any longer, so I have to.
be empty until it could be blessed. You have to give Frank
Oh, wow, this is right to the beginning. The end here to make it hard. No, I can't crawl under like the zombies can, because the zombies are smarter than me, guys. Oh, they're freaking smarter than
I don't
me.
even want to get
Because
up,
they know
man.
how
I
to
feel
crawl
like
on
I'm vomit
offensive,
from
and
moving
I
around.
don't.
serious part about it is that the movie is based on a
Anyways, no. I want to make it through without dying. I want to make it through my life. I just want to live life without. Let's go, boys. Okay, got the swing points. Right, right, reset the starting point too. Oh, look, see, there's a move there. So I don't like, I don't go over there, I go over here. Yes, one way, only. No, you mother, oh crap. Oh god, another one. Because, oh wow, it's really, I don't know. Oh wow, this is easy. Oh, please take this out. This is easy.
Harold originally built his house in 1951, and it was believed that the activity started because he had a negative encounter with a neighbor who was believed to be a witch. The neighbor had been wanting to buy Harold's home, and he constantly refused her offers. Her last-ditch effort seemed to be to curse the home to sweep him out of it. Harold eventually left the home, but the new inhabitants do hear the occasional banging from time to time, so it seems like the curse is still alive and well. Accidental ghosts. If there's one recommendation in this video, it's to do a background check on your next potential home to make sure that it's not haunted. However, sometimes you can only warn a person so much about a haunted house before they eventually learn their lesson. That's exactly what happened to Bill and Kim Kirchhoff, who bought a haunted house and then instantly regretted it. The couple was warned about the home being haunted, but they didn't listen. They ended up not moving into the house and when they did go into the house, the couple encountered a female ghost.
Do that.
There is also another ghost named Joshua who likes to talk to guests. Finally, there are ghost children that like to jump on your back. Luckily, the furniture shops have been making use of their haunted house. While still trying to sell it, they have been renting the home out to paranormal investigators who want to learn more about the other side. The validity of a team verifying that there was a presence is definitely good for their ghost business. Possessed. Sometimes, just haunting a house isn't enough for some ghosts. So let's shift gears and talk about deities that apparently want to get really close to us. In 2018, 67-year-old Janet Farrar revealed that she was possessed by the Indian god Kali back in January 2017. This Wiccan priestess was apparently attacked in her bed in Dublin. She claims that her skin turned blue and her tongue started to loll out. During the experience, her heart stopped beating 5 times, and she claims that she was literally turning into Kali. Luckily, Janet's husband is a nurse, and he started doing chest compressions when he saw his wife's condition. They didn't even know whether or not she was going to survive. Apparently, thanks to medical care, Kali eventually left Janet's body and allowed her to live in peace. So, on that note, you might want to consider grounding and shielding yourself before you become a super god. Given the nature of Janet's work, she says it isn't uncommon to have paranormal activity on a regular basis. Why she continues to do her work is compelling, especially since she almost lost her life and complete sense of identity. Brownsville Road. In Brentwood, Pennsylvania, there sits a house that looks completely innocent and unsuspecting. But this is a perfect example of how first impressions can sometimes be deceiving. The family that lives in this house never expected to have a demon as a roommate. Demons are some of the most negative beings that you can encounter. The family couldn't even come forward with this startling revelation, as the patriarch of the house was Allegheny County Commissioner Bob Cranmer. Mixing politics with the supernatural is far from a good idea, and it was something that needed to stay discreet. At first, a black and foggy cloud would appear around the family, and then they would get bitten and scratched at night. A mysterious red substance also drooped from the walls, crosses would get twisted, sulfur smells would fill the home, and rosaries would get destroyed. Bob eventually contacted the Catholic Church and demonologist Adam Clyde.
Okay, so bye guys. But I have 1 wow, go.
I'm down. I'll be listening.
Okay, okay.
Some of these you can easily come across in everyday life without knowing what you're getting yourself into. Make sure to stick around until